He rose from near obscurity to rule most of Europe. He defeated empires, redrew the map of a continent, and built an army that seemed unstoppable. But in the end, it all collapsed. This is the story of Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who almost ruled the world. Napoleon Bonaparte was born in 1769 on the island of Corsica, shortly after it became part of France. He trained as an artillery officer, a role that would shape his understanding of warfare. During the chaos of the French Revolution, opportunity emerged. In 1793, at the Siege of Toulon, Napoleon played a key role in retaking the city from royalist forces. His success earned him rapid promotion. By his mid-20s, he was already a general. In 1796, Napoleon took command of the French army of Italy. What followed was a series of rapid, decisive victories. He used speed, maneuverability, and concentrated force to defeat larger Austrian armies. Instead of fighting evenly matched battles, he divided enemy forces and defeated them separately. This campaign made him famous and proved he was more than just a capable officer. He was a strategist. By 1799, France was politically unstable. Napoleon returned from campaign and seized power in a coup. He became first consul, effectively the ruler of France. In 1804, he crowned himself emperor. This marked the beginning of a new phase, not just a general, but a ruler shaping Europe. Napoleon's greatest victory came in 1805 at the Battle of Austerlitz. Facing the combined forces of Russia and Austria, he used deception and terrain to his advantage. He deliberately weakened his right flank to lure the enemy in, then struck decisively at the center. The result was a complete victory. Following this, Napoleon dismantled the Holy Roman Empire. He expanded French influence across Europe. At his peak, he controlled or influenced much of the continent. Napoleon aimed to weaken Britain, his greatest rival. Unable to defeat it at sea, he launched the continental system. This was an economic blockade designed to cut Britain off from European trade, but it was difficult to enforce. Many countries resisted, and it began to strain relationships across Europe. Napoleon's control over Europe was not absolute. In 1808, he intervened in Spain, attempting to place his brother on the throne. What followed was the Peninsular War. Unlike his earlier campaigns, this was not a conventional war. Spanish forces, along with Portuguese and British troops, used guerrilla tactics, ambushes, raids, and constant harassment. Supply lines were disrupted. Communication broke down. French forces were forced to fight a war of attrition. The British, led by Arthur Wellesley, gradually pushed back. Napoleon himself later described the conflict as the ulcer that destroyed me. It drained resources, diverted troops, and weakened his grip on Europe. In 1812, Napoleon launched one of the largest invasions in history. Over 600,000 troops marched into Russia. The Russian army avoided direct confrontation. Instead, they retreated, destroying supplies as they went. Napoleon advanced deeper into hostile territory. He reached Moscow, but the city was largely abandoned and burned. With no supplies and winter approaching, he was forced to retreat. The retreat was catastrophic. Only a fraction of his army returned. After the disaster in Russia, Napoleon's enemies saw an opportunity. In 1813, a coalition of European powers confronted him at the Battle of Leipzig, also known as the Battle of Nations. It was one of the largest battles in European history before the 20th century. Over 500,000 troops took part. For the first time, Napoleon faced a unified force from multiple nations: Russia, Prussia, Austria, and Sweden. Despite his experience, he was overwhelmed. Outnumbered and outmaneuvered, French forces were forced into retreat. The defeat was decisive. It marked the collapse of his control over Central Europe and opened the road to France itself. After the disaster in Russia, European powers united against him. Napoleon was defeated in 1814 and forced to abdicate. He was exiled to the island of Elba. But it didn't end there. In 1815, he returned. For 100 days, he regained power, until his final defeat at the Battle of Waterloo. In 1815, after escaping exile, Napoleon Bonaparte returned to power for what became known as the 100 Days. Europe responded immediately. A coalition army moved to stop him. The final confrontation came at the Battle of Waterloo. Napoleon faced British forces under Arthur Wellesley, with Prussian forces under Gebhard Leberecht von Blücher marching to join the fight. The battle was shaped by timing. Heavy rain the night before turned the battlefield into mud. This delayed Napoleon's attack, buying crucial time for the Prussians. Throughout the day, French forces launched repeated assaults. Infantry advanced, cavalry charged, but British lines held firm. Wellington's army absorbed the pressure, holding defensive positions along the ridge. Then, in the late afternoon, the Prussians arrived. Napoleon's forces were now fighting on two fronts. The balance shifted. French lines began to break. The Imperial Guard, his most elite troops, made a final advance. But even they were repelled. For the first time, Napoleon's army collapsed in full retreat. Napoleon changed Europe forever. He reformed laws, redefined warfare, and proved how quickly power could rise and fall. From emperor to exile, from victory to defeat. He came closer than most to ruling the world and lost it all.